You've got some explaining to do.
In this video, I want to once again go over the Season 2 Act 4 cutscene that we got for Modern Warfare Zombies. So I already made a video breaking down this cutscene that I will have linked in this video's description if you want to watch it after this one. In this video, I wanted to go a bit more in depth and tackle a few different topics that I omitted from that video. With this information, I want to kickstart a couple of longer discussions I'm interested in having with all of you. Upon escaping the Dark Ether and having sustained relatively minor injuries, Ravenov returns to his quarters at Deadbolt HQ to lick his wounds. It wouldn't be too long, however, before Jansen storms in and confronts him directly, asking about his past. She briefly makes note of his injuries before slamming down a tablet next to Ravenov, revealing that she had hacked into the CIA's terminals and gotten a hold of his files in an effort to learn the truth of his background. Jansen then makes mention that his files were a black hole, indicating to us that they were mostly blank. Well, normally this would not be too surprising with Ava's level of intelligence and the clearance that anyone working high up at Operation Deadbolt would have. It is no reach to say that the information they'd have access to would be of the highest security clearance. But even using Deadbolt's terminals, plus assumedly hacking them for even higher clearance level, Ava still sees nothing. Why is this worth mentioning? Simple. If even people with this level of clearance do not have access to this information on Ravenov, it is because it is still actively being hidden by the powers that be above them. There were at some points records of him, clearly, so if it was blacked out. However, someone is doing everything they can to keep this information a secret. This is the first of a few factors in this cutscene that continue to imply that the director or ex-director of Requiem, Eddie Richtofen, or someone close to him is continuing his legacy, and that he or someone close to him still holds very high standing in the US government. This is something we will continue to round back to throughout this video, and something I've discussed in prior videos as well that will be linked below, so keep this in mind. Going back to the cutscene, Jansen then immediately seeks to helping Ravenov stitch up his arm, and while this could simply be a ploy to stay in his good graces, I think it more so showcases to the audience that while she is untrusting of him and is upset about being kept in the dark about everything, that she still cares about him on some level, and in this situation that she has been put into, that he is one of the only people she can actually view as an ally. You have to keep in mind that whilst Deadbolt is our protagonist faction in Modern Warfare Zombies, Jansen is still technically in custody here, meaning she doesn't really have anyone she can outright trust. This is the CIA we're talking about after all. Whilst Jansen continues to mend Ravenov's arm, he begins to flip through the tablet, at which point she addresses him directly, stating that he was a part of Requiem, to which he responds yes. Jansen continues to press for answers, asking what exactly happened to them. Ravenov responds, recounting the events of Forsaken, which saw Maxis head back into the Dark Ether, sacrificing herself to save everyone as she trapped the Forsaken in the containment chamber, and Ravenov explains how the group planned to save her. He then drops a bombshell by revealing that Requiem had actually all failed to save her. Obviously, this has huge implications for COD 2024 Black Ops Gulf War Zombies, as it seems to be direct confirmation of a major potential story beat in that game, that probably by the end of that storyline, they all perish, sacrificing their souls to these Ethereum canisters that we see in the underground bunker underneath a hotel in Urzikstan that we see in Modern Warfare Zombies intro cutscene. But this information also carries implications for the current game as well, especially with everything we've heard thus far with the Entity. Obviously, we already had a connection between the two via the items we collected in Season 1's main quest, for example, Not So Fluffy's collar, which is Samantha Maxis' dog, or was. But now we have an even greater connection, as it seems like the Entity itself, which many have speculated could be Samantha Maxis, may at the very least be directly related to her. I've speculated in prior videos as well that the Entity could be a reflection of Ava Jansen herself. But what if this Entity isn't exactly one person, but is some sort of culmination of many? That's always a possibility as well. It could be the Dark Ether taking influence and cloning elements from different people, such as Samantha and Ava. Who knows? All speculation here. This is particularly interesting when considering all of the connections we also have between the Entity and Jansen, with her having dreams of the Entity since she was a child. Judging by her age, this roughly would have been around the time of when Gulf War Zombies takes takes place in the 90s or just after. This also calls into question Jansen's involvement in all of this. How is it that someone with all of these outside connections to the entity has, by coincidence, fallen into the situation that she has and ended up intertwined with Deadbolt? It really reinforces the idea of shadier forces like that of Eddie, or possibly even Samuel, his son, being at play, subtly guiding all of the pieces into place like a massive game of chess, similar to what he did in Cold War Zombies. Going back once more to the cutscene, Ravenov states that after they failed, they vowed to never let this happen again, which feels like a direct allusion to the scene of the Requiem heads being dead in the basement, that whatever they did there was an effort to stop or keep the outbreaks from happening. Either Modern Warfare Zombies is evidence that they failed, which is ironic considering the zombies have only returned as a result of these canisters, which is a direct result of what they did, or perhaps it could be that whatever we are witnessing in this game is the long thought out approach to resolving the problems they were facing, and that everything is actually going in accordance to plan if Richtofen or some other higher power is at play, and we are not seeing the full picture here. I hardly think it's any coincidence that despite them dying there seemingly so many years ago, that we keep seeing them pop up in the story of Modern Warfare Zombies. It seems to imply that the Requiem heads are playing a much bigger role here than we currently realize, that despite being dead, they have caused a massive ripple effect. Whether this means they may be incorporated in the story in the future, whether those Ethereum canisters play some sort of bigger importance in terms of Richtofen's plan, something to do with Project Janus, or maybe Requiem could be resurrected in the future or something akin to that. After all, if Richtofen was successful in resurrecting his son Samuel, who could have potentially had his soul trapped in the Dark Ether, then maybe this is something that could be done to the Requiem heads too. We're not exactly sure how it works when people die. Is it possible that when people are trapped as ethereal orbs in the Dark Ether, they're able to be brought back? This would be a good way for the story to continue after Modern Warfare Zombies. Even though we're going back to the past with Gulf War Zombies, we can then pick up again after the events of Modern Warfare Zombies, even with our same crew, if they do somehow return in the future. Just a theory though, let me know your thoughts down below. Before I continue with the rest of the discussion, I first have a very interesting message to share with you, so stay tuned. Gear up like Captain Price and immerse yourself in night vision with the revolutionary X-infrared smartphone thermal camera, the ultimate tool for engineers and outdoor enthusiasts alike. This isn't sponsored, but they have kindly sent me one of their products to try out for myself. It's a simple, small and light device that easily attaches onto your phone, Android or iOS variants. With the latest P2 Pro model, experience unrivaled thermal imaging capabilities that set new standards in precision and performance, featuring a remarkable high sensitivity of 0.04 degrees Celsius and a resolution of 256 x 192 pixels. This camera lens allows for effortless observation of even the most minute details, making it perfect for high temperature testing and outdoor exploration. Plus, its wide measurement range of -20 degrees Celsius to 600 degrees Celsius and minimal measuring error of just plus or minus 2 degrees ensure accurate results in any environment. This is perfect for you if you want to film wildlife or scenic environments at night, or even if you want to hunt or just search for animals at night. I actually want to make a more in-depth video on this in the future, where I'll try and do an in-real-life style Call of Duty video trying to replicate what it's like using NVG goggles, and also want to do a completely unrelated video filming nature for an upcoming channel. But that's not all. Equipped with advanced features such as temperature correction for emissivity, distance and environmental temperature, this lens delivers optimal performance and reliability in every use, and with its compact size, measuring 27 x 18 x 9.8 mm and lightweight design weighing only 9 grams, it's easy to carry with you wherever you go. When you choose the X-infrared smartphone thermal camera, you'll also enjoy free standard shipping on all orders, fast delivery and a comprehensive 2-year warranty for added peace of mind. They even offer a 30-day money-back guarantee if you are not satisfied. X-infrared is a brand of Raytron, the industry leader in the infrared thermal imaging. With their commitment to innovation and excellence, they are dedicated to bringing the most advanced thermal imaging technology to every home and professional setting. Of course, we all have phones, and this unleashes a whole new potential of the camera, and it's not like it's complicated at all. It's so easy, since it is so light and small, to just pick up and take with you anywhere you want in its little case, and you just need to download their app, and it's so easy to use with various different functionality and settings. Experience the future of thermal imaging with the X-infrared smartphone thermal camera. Order yours today via the link in this video's description and unlock a new world of possibilities if this is perfect for you, especially if you are into cameras and filming. This is a great simple step. On their website they offer various different models, and they also offer different products too, so browse their site to see if any interest you. And once again, a huge thank you for them sending me one so I can showcase it for you. After a snide remark from Jansen that they are 0-2 on their promises, Ravenov remarks that he is still here, fighting for what is right, to which Jansen makes the point that by all odds, he shouldn't be. Of course, the Cold War was over 40 years ago, and despite him surely being in his 70s by now, he looks as if he's maybe in his early 50s, at the earliest late 40s. This actually isn't even the first time Ravenov's age has been called into question either, as in numerous radios, even going back as far as pre-season, Deadbolt members made note that they can't figure out how old he is and how strange it is overall. And this likely has big implications, because why is Ravenov not aged properly? Does the Dark Ether have potential youth qualities to it? Has there been experimentations going on to retain his youth? Maybe that could factor into some of Eddie's plan? Or maybe there was a long period when he went into the Dark Ether, where time passes differently, that allowed him to not age properly. That could have been him trying to rescue Samantha Maxis, for example. For example, he could have gone in the Dark Ether and came out at a later point. During that time, many years passed in the real Earth, but he hadn't aged at all. That's just one theory. Ravenov retorts to Jansen's comments simply by saying that he has good genes, to which she immediately calls it out as a lie. She then continues to press for answers, asking what the focus of Requiem's Ethereum research was, implying that whatever they did may have played a part in why Ravenov is seemingly aging slower than usual. Like I said, there's a huge possibility that he was experimented on, or even the other Requiem team. After all, we know that Terminus Island is apparently going to be one of the launch maps in COD 2024 Zombies, where Dr. Peg is heading to rescue the Strike Team / Requiem heads in the post-credit scene of The Forsaken. And we know on this island is a prison / laboratory where they were seemingly apprehended by Eddie Richtofen. Maybe there they were experimented on, which gave them some sort of youth properties thanks to Ethereum. Could Richtofen be trying to create some superpowers or powerful drugs from Ethereum? Just another guess there. Ravenov brushes this off by telling her that maybe once this is all over that he'll give her the answers, but she rejects, stating that if you won't help me, I'll find my own answers. As of editing this video, a new blog has released and has actually confirmed that yes, indeed, we will be seeing Dr. Ava Jansen returning in the upcoming story mission in Season 3 Reloaded as an NPC. The blog itself reads that the Dark Ether story continues. Take a chance on Jansen as a full-scale rescue mission is launched after the Doctor enters a new and terrifying region of the Dark Ether. It seems that she is likely being drawn in by the entity, and if it is a reflection of herself, could they potentially merge together? We saw in the Season 1 trailer for Modern Warfare Zombies that she was looking directly into a Dark Ether portal as the entity was talking to her and trying to prompt her in. Provide fire support for Ravenov and find Dr. Jansen before she's consumed by darkness. So there you have it. It would appear that after having this encounter with Ravenov, Jansen is committed to finding her own answers and is actually going to enter the Dark Ether entirely on her own accord. This has massive potential to directly set up a confrontation between Jansen and the entity itself in the flesh. There's a great chance that with this mission we will finally learn the truth behind Jansen and the entity, and perhaps even how they somehow seemingly tie into Samantha Maxis as well. With that, Jansen storms out of the room, leaving Ravenov to his devices. He looks back over to the tablet and starts to say that Ava's parents would be proud of her before stopping himself and saying that they are proud of her. This is interesting as well, as it seems to somewhat imply the possibility that Ravenov himself might be her father. We already know that Dr. Grey is apparently her mother from the radios in the game and then gave her up for adoption, leading to how she has been tied into all of this Ethereum research in the first place. Furthermore, a new radio was recently found in which Ravenov talks about having spent years watching her from afar and how the plan was for her to stay out of all of this trouble involving the outbreak zones.
Time to give an update on my favorite complication. I am getting a headache thinking about her. All these years, carefully watching from afar. Now I'm staring her in the face, and I am not happy. The plan was for her to stay out of the muck, and yet here she is, neck deep in it. Well, my old friends, I guess we stood no chance against fate. She is too smart, too driven to be kept away. Reminds me of someone I used to know. She will save us. I know it. However, her passion for her work blinds her. She threw herself into fire to find answers. I could not catch her. And I fear she will get burned.
He mentions how unhappy it makes him, which altogether definitely gives the vibe that Jansen is someone who he's cared a great deal about for a long time, again giving credence to the idea that he could be the father. He goes on to say how much she reminds him of someone he used to know, likely Samantha Maxis, and finally remarks how confident he is that she will save them all. With Jansen having powers to Samantha, it makes sense, but I'm wondering if the Dark Ether could have some influence in how she was born in the first place, considering she has these powers and how she's connected to the entity. I don't know if it could be something weird where Dr. Grey and Ravenov are the biological parents, but then there might have been influence from the Dark Ether or Samantha Maxis as well, and she is the result of an amalgamation of all three or more. I've seen many people speculating as well that Ravenov isn't the father, because when he says "we are proud of you," he's looking at the screen which shows the Requiem heads on, and some people are speculating that all of the Requiem heads could be her parents because of the fact that they sacrificed themselves to this Ethereum device, and they think that maybe this somehow spawned Ava Jansen or even the entity as well, and that they could all be the parents somehow in some sort of weird way thanks to the Dark Ether. But regarding the device that the Requiem heads were attached to, who created this in the first place? Was it them? Were they tricked by Samantha or some other entity, and that's why they ended up failing? Was it Eddie Richtofen's responsibility for why this device was created, and this plays into some sort of bigger plan? Maybe this could even be as to how Eddie managed to rescue his son Samuel from the Dark Ether. Maybe this device actually rescued his son and brought him back as opposed to Samantha Maxis like they were trying to. Also, this device has 2 vials, but it seems like there are 2 missing, so what happened to these other vials? Could they once again have played into Samuel being rescued or something else? Again, all very interesting stuff to speculate about. In this radio from Ravenov as well, it talks about how the plan was for her to stay out of trouble involving the outbreak zones. He mentions how unhappy it makes him, which all together definitely gives the vibe that Jansen is someone who he's cared a great deal about for a long while. Ravenov finally remarks how confident he is that she will save them all, definitely implying that Jansen is seemingly the key to the problem at hand. The idea of Ravenov potentially being Jansen's father may seem like a huge stretch, but you never know. I think it seems very likely. Like I said earlier, I intended this video to be a conversation starter for larger topics within the story, and with the plethora of things this cutscene gave us, I think I have done exactly that. So let me know all of your thoughts, like I said, in the comments below. Do you agree with anything, disagree with anything? Do you have your own theories? I'd be interested to hear them. Maybe if they're interesting enough, or I think they have credence, I could even potentially discuss them in a future video. And there's many other story stuff to talk about, so let me know in the comments, is there anything regarding the Dark Ether story you want me to tackle, or even any old stuff from the Ether story that's gone unexplained all these years. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.